Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Wrong Turn, the 2021 version. Let's get into it. If you're a movie head, there was a series actually of this movie called Wrong Turn, and the original series is I think it ended up getting about up to like uh, four movies or so. In the original Wrong Turn was basically people were out in the driving, and just like it said, they pretty much was somewhere where they weren't supposed to be, driving countryside somewhere, trying to get to a special destination, think they're making a shortcut, end up driving it off to an area where they're not supposed to drive, tire gets flat, and then all chaos. And but the only difference is in the original Wrong Turn, that the people who lived out in the forest area or woods, they were like deformed in a sense, and they pretty much was cannibals where they were eating people. So this one is similar, but there is a twist. The original came out in 2003, and it was kind of a hit because they was able to get like 3 4 movies off or whatever, and it started from that car. Now in this movie, uh, the plot is you got a group of friends who going out. They want to go to out somewhere far, and they want to hike, and they get to the small town, and the main character is Milla Angelo, played by Emma Dumont, and the second main character is Matthew Modine. He's a familiar actor, and his plays her dad. His name is Scott. Nevertheless, the friends go out to this small town. I think the trail is like Appalachian Trail, and they room at this small town. And the townspeople, they really don't like outsiders, and they're not real receptive of this group of. It's not even teen, like 20. They're in their 20s. It looks like so far or whatever. They're not receptive of them, so they're being nice to everybody, but the town people is not accepting them. And they get to a bar. They meet a guy named Nate, and he's at the bar. He's kind of giving them a hard time, and you later find out um, what's his deal or whatever. And so they get into it with him. When they come out, somebody's standing by their car, and when they're standing by the car, the group of friends one of them throws a bottle at them, at whoever was standing at their car, and when they were standing at the car, they disappear. Then you had Milla. She has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend name is what's that guy's name? Darius, and he's he's stand up. He's into her, and he pretty much like do what she tell him to do in a sense. That you pick that up right off the bat. And she's jogging the next morning. When she's jogging, she sees this woman, and she's got these bracelets, and she buys a bracelet off of her. She sees a little girl, and she waves to the little girl, but the little girl is like standoffish. They look kind of dingy in a sense, so you know something is off with the behavior. And she sells her the bracelet, waves to the little girl, and the little girl goes and hides. And so she runs back off. Now they run into a lady who is the where they're staying at. It's some like inn, And she tells them pretty much, hey, some people ain't too favorable if you cross in their territory. And stay on the trail. When you go on that trail, stay on it. And when you get up to the trail, it got an arrow to which side you should go on. Of course, they go on the wrong side. That's one. And the woman told them stay on the trail. They didn't abide by that. So automatically, upon coming up there, they received the flat. They received the flat, and out of nowhere. So you already know something. That flat didn't just come out of nowhere. It was in an open road, and the flat came. And so instead of, it's probably about 1, 2, 3, 4 men in the car. 4 men in the car. And Milla was the one who changed the tire. Now her dad taught her well. She's a go-getter. And she was the one that changed the tire. And they kind of spoke about it. And she was just like, well, my dad taught me if I ever had to survive, I got to be able to survive on my own. And she's the one who changed the tire. So you already see where this is building up at. You're looking at it like, ah. And then you just looking at which one of these guys is going to die first. So, of course, just like any movie, they get on the trail and they deviate from the trail. They want to go experiment more throughout the forest. And right off the bat, it jumps right into it. It's a booby trap, and this big log comes tumbling down the hill, and this log is huge, and it's just running over anything in its path. And so they all running from the log, and they're running down the hill from the log instead of just running left or right and just getting out of the way of it. They're running down the hill, and while they're running down, they're tripping and falling and everything. So one of them trips and falls in front of a tree, and incoming the log, and he's smashed to pieces. And so they all come, and his boyfriend seen him smashed to pieces, and everybody was grieving. And then now they're off track. They don't know where they at. They're in the middle of the woods, and now they're running into all these different booby traps in the forest. And so one of the friends, she seems to be pretty good with like bandaging people. So she was bandaging everybody when they was getting little knickknacks and stuff like that. So they all come to a point where they like, hey, it's nighttime, it's raining, we need to set refuge. Now they can already see somebody is in the woods is following them. So they set up a tent, and in the tent, middle of the night, she wakes up, she looks up, and you can see it flash like the thunder. You can tell somebody was looking at them, and then it went away. Now the morning comes, and it's bright, and they're up. Now their friend that was bandaging everybody up, she's not there. So right off the bat, you're thinking, well, somebody must have snatched her in the middle of the night. And so they can't find her. They're yelling for her and everything like that. And so now they're walking in the woods, and one of the men is snatched by another trap in the woods, and it's pulling him, and his name is Hobbs. So it's his name wasn't Hobbs, that was the other guy. His name is Adam, and it's pulling him, and Adam is getting pulled through the forest. You probably seen a trailer for it, and it's a strap around his leg. And so when it pulls him, you don't see him no more. Now they're real friends. You got the girlfriend, the girl missed, the other girl missing, and the other guy just got snatched by the trap. And now you don't see him. And now it's Milla and her boyfriend and another guy that's left. So now You like, yo, what is going on? All right. So they see that little girl. So you instantly know something's up. That's the same little girl you seen in the town now. She's out in the middle of the forest. Okay. So they chasing her, and when they're chasing her, she dips off. And so once she dips off, Milla has really been showing this little girl love. So Milla, the Adam, before he got snatched by the booby trap, the little girl, Milla told the little girl go and told Adam calm down. And so they make it to this like middle of the forest. It's like got these weapons and stuff like that. And so they in this like shed, and they see in the distance, they see two people carrying Adam. And so they grab the tools and they go confront the two people. And so when they confront the two people is signaling something. And they're like, yo, pin them down. So they pin them down, and they look like it's going to be a standoff fight. All of a sudden, Adam jumps up. He grabs a big stick and bashes one of the people in the mask form, bashes him in the head, and then proceeds to stomp on him with the stick and kills him. And right after that, the friend that they were looking for, she pops up. So they thinking that Adam did it because he think that they killed her, but she pops up and they like, where was you? And she was like, well, I went to the bear from early in the morning, and so that's a flag right there. You know y'all lost. You know this is a severity of the situation. Wake everybody up. So you go to the bear farm. Why go off in the forest by your own? But she said the reason why she couldn't speak because she seen them people dressed up in the stuff and it was in camouflage, and she didn't want to bring attention because she didn't know what they were there for if they was going to do something to her. So they killed one of them people. So now you know it's on. Now you know they want revenge. So right off the bat, somebody is following them again, and one of their guys, where his boyfriend that got killed and smashed, he got snatched from behind, and you didn't even hear him. Well, they didn't hear him. They just know he was walking behind them, then he wasn't walking no more. So he was snatched, and then they all took off running, looking for him, and they all took off running because they knew somebody was out there. And when they took off running, the girl that was missing, she ended up falling in a hole that had spikes. So Adam seen her with all the spikes, and she was dying with all the spikes through her, and he left her. Pretty much, I'll come back and help you. But he left her. And then one of the people that lived in the forest took a bow and arrow to her head. She was gone. Now this wrong turn wasn't as gory as the other one. The other one was showing everything. Like they was really messing people up in that other wrong turn. So in this one, after that, they all end up getting captured. You know, so let me speed this up. And they all end up getting captured, and you find out that these are not deformed people. These are actual people that live out in the forest who no longer believe in civilization. They think their way is the way to live, and they grow their own foods and stuff like that, but they don't want to be messed with by society. So they figure, you come on our turf, we're going to get you out of here. So they got a head guy that, the girl from the town, she was there. Her name's Edith. And her name's Edith. And so they have a head person there, and he wants to put them on trial. Of course, Adam, he was at fault. You know he's out of here. So they end up smashing his head. He's gone. The other three, the one that was snatched from behind where his boyfriend got killed, he ended up panicking. He freaked. They snatched and put him somewhere. And then it was Milla and her boyfriend Darius. And then Darius was pretty much, they was contemplating like, don't kill us, and you we could be of value to you. And Darius, his value was he never stopped. He always keep going. He gonna always go hard. Her value that she instantly said was, I give myself to you. Like, she's young, she's healthy, she could breathe. And so the head guy, you instantly know that's what he like. And so while all this is going on, she was, when they had signal on their phones, keeping contact with her dad the whole time. And now a week then passed, and and he started being on a hunt looking for his daughter. And so he came to the town they was at, and he's talking to the people, and he runs into the Nate, and Nate gives him a hard time too, and she gets Nate and his crew end up beating him up. And the police, he seen the police there, and they just roll right by him. So you said, okay, this is a small town. He ain't supposed to be here, and they tell him you should have just left. And so the woman at the end that gave the daughter advice gave him advice like, I tried to tell him, don't, people go up in them trails, they don't come back. They must have went up there, and then he's like, well, this is my daughter. I just can't leave her out there like that. So he like, I'm going to go find her myself. And then the woman's really concerned. And she breaks it down as people that lives out there, and they live there, we live here, we don't bother them. They don't really bother us. And so he was like, well, I gotta go out there and I gotta get my daughter. And so what she did was she connected him with somebody that was willing to go out in the forest. They had him and his son. They lost one of their friends friends out there, and when they did, they got scraped with an arrow, and they wanted some revenge. He gave them $5,000 in cash. And so while he's going out to the forest, right off the bat, soon as like 2 minutes into the forest, they run into a trap. He explains that it's traps all over this whole forest, and he sets the trap free, and then you get to see what kind of trap they set. But then now the other son walks and falls into a trap. Now they go and try to help him pull him out of the hole, and while they're doing that, it's another trap, this big log filled with spikes on top of them. And you see the guy that went to help him, you see he's Gary hit the trap. Of course he hits it. The big log comes down and smashes the son and the dad, kills them. He grabs their gun, and now he's headed to try to find his daughter. And now he ended up getting surrounded by a bunch of people, and they clunked him on the head, put their own thing over him. By this time, it's some time that went past. The head person of that group, he took Milla as his new wife. The boyfriend is off doing whatever. He's part of the community now, and he's like a robot. And so Milla's playing a game. And so the dad was like, where's my daughter? And he shot in the air. And he shot in the air. And so they pretty much, the head guy knows that's his daughter. And so he like, I know I gotta have him killed. So he's saying we're gonna kill him in the morning. And so Milla bow and arrowed her dad to show her loyalty. And so you like, oh man, she's zombie now too. And so in the middle of the night, the head guy is talking to Milla like, pretty much, basically you showed your loyalty to me, and I know that's your dad. So of course she had sex with him and got him pretty much in a good place where I could trust her. So while he was asleep, she dipped out. She grabbed her dad, told her the scenario. She had to play the game, and now they're trying to find their way out. And that little girl that they kept talking, she kept seeing the little girl showed her how to get out, exit, and she told the little girl to come with her, and the little girl cried, but then the little girl ended up not going with her. So what they do is they go through this area where it's people who are turning, like you see, this is the people that is turning to the deformed people or whatever, because these are the people that I guess try to leave, and they end up starving these people, and you see how they become deformed. And one of their guys that got snatched from behind, he's down there and he don't have any eyesight anymore, so she shoots him. She pretty much shoots him so he don't have to suffer no more. She went to the boyfriend Darius, and he pretty much told her that I'm not going to stop y'all, I'm not going to tell on y'all, but I'm not going. This is the way I live now. So like I said, he was robotic for the whole movie. And they're running off, and now they get into a confrontation with the people. Edith is the woman that Milla met in the town in the beginning, that she bought the bracelet from her. She comes out, they end up killing her, and she was the head guy's daughter. And right when they were going to get captured, Nate shows up with his crew, and he comes and saves the day. Now his revenge is that he lost one of his kids got lost in the forest, and they never returned. So he's been bitter ever since, and he wanted some revenge. So he showed up, and his crew got guns. They're shooting in the forest, and they end up getting Milla and her dad loose, and they got free. And you can see the head guy looking at them as they drove off. And so as they drive off, it fast forwards some time, and it shows the dad, they back to living regular life. It shows the dad is off at a construction site, putting together an I guess they building a house, and she comes and gives the dad some stuff. Now back at home is the dad, I guess it's the dad's wife and two sons. And when she rides back home, she's shocked to see that the head guy is there with the little girl, and there's a camper outside, and he's basically saying they're new to the neighborhood. Now, why would the mom or stepmom invite strangers in that you don't know and all in the house? And so you also find out that Milla's pregnant, and he's coming back, telling her, come back to the fold. I know where you live at. I'm going to harm your people. If you don't harm, you don't want me to harm your people, come back home, and at least till you birth the child. So you're thinking that little girl at one point was conceived from somebody else like Milla or whatever, because the little girl is there too. And so first Milla has a thought in her mind where she would go and try to attack him, and it showed her him killing all her family, and then she realized that wasn't the move. So she pretty much told the stepmom and the two brothers, hey, go, I'm gonna talk to these people. And so he was pretty much like, you leave, I won't harm them. So as she coming out, you see people in the camper or whatever. You see people in the camper, and you said, dang, this is how the movie's going to end. So the credits start coming up, but while the credits is coming up, it's still filming. So you see the campers riding down the road, and all of a sudden you see the camper losing control, and then it crashes into a car. And then you see some rumbling going on in the camper, and then all of a sudden you just see the head guy getting out of the car trying to run, and you shows Milla coming out of the camper, and she falls at first, and then she throws something at him. The fall, after he fell, you saw her run over in the back of him and stab him up, and then it shows the little girl come walking out of the camper and grabbing Milla's hand, and then it shows Milla and the little girl walking towards the camera, and that's just how it ended. So it was like, wow, that was crazy, man. So this was long and drawn out. Overall, a decent movie. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie 2 out of 4 stars. It was kind of different from the first original Wrong Turn. Wasn't as gory, but it was just okay. 2 out of 4 stars. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment if you are familiar with the original series of Wrong Turn, or you plan to watch this one or seen this one. Until next time.